Good evening, Gumtown. How y'all doing? We are live downtown in front of City Hall. We just left the Board of Adjustments meeting and we finna give a recap. We came late, so we missed a couple of items on the agenda, but we got there in time for the fourth item. Meadows Construction was there. The representative was J. Ralph Meadows. He requested a side yard variance for a new dwelling to be located at 10825 North Palomino Drive in the residential agricultural zoning district, and that request got approved. The next one, Karen Highland, she wanted to request a special exception to store a recreation an RV on a vacant parcel located on the southeast corner of Hayneville Road and Hatfield Road, a single-family residential and flood hazard zoning district. Her family owns the land. It's a lot of land, and she wants it for convenience. She wants to store the RV there to keep lawn equipment that they have. It's a lot of wood on the land, and they want to deter people from dumping on the land because it's dumping on the empty properties, but properties that people are not empty, there's less dumping. So she wants to prevent that. And some of the board's concerns were how far back is the RV from the yard and how long it's going to be there. It's going to be 200 yards back from the street, and it's 17 acres of land. And they want to clear the land to eventually build on it. And so the board gave them they granted their request and gave them 1 year. The next item on the agenda was Ashley Jernigan. She wanted to request a height variance, front yard variance, and street side yard variance for a privacy fence to be located at 901 Hull Street in the office zone the district. She has an office space down there, and she wants the fence for privacy and security in the area. She wants to revitalize the area because it's a lot of empty buildings there. She sees the potential, so she wants to start a business there to just to bring some good to the area. And in front of the walkway, she wanted a 5-foot fence, and the rest she wanted 7 feet. And there was some discussion, and some of the board's concerns were like, can you make it shorter, make it 6 feet? And there was one objection. Miss Lula Calloway, she's the president of the Garden District Preservation Association, and she said, they really don't like a lot of fences in the area. They want to preserve the aesthetic value and the historic value of the area. And the board asked did her and Ashley speak, and they said no. Then they really didn't communicate before this. And so, the board was trying to give them a compromise, and one of the board members asked, like, hey, Ashley said that it was a lot of, empty buildings and stuff around the area, and it needs, some revitalization. And Miss Calloway agreed, like, yes. And so, but one of the board members, he said, well, if she's trying to revitalize it, why are you trying to stop her? Y'all should try to compromise, and they compromise and discuss where to put the fence to bring it back some, and it's going to be 5 feet in the front and 6 feet all around. So I'm glad of that compromise. Shout out to Ashley Jernigan for all she does for our city. Then we have Mr. Johnny Perkins. He wanted a coverage variance, rear yard variance, side yard variance, and a separation between structure variance for accessories located on Ravenwood Drive, single family home. Well, the board said, they really don't have based on the information they have, it wasn't enough information to make a decision. They didn't know if the measurements on the information they had were accurate. They needed the correct measurement, so they told him to get the land surveyed, identify the structure, so they can get the actual distances, and give them 30 days to do that, and told them to get on the agenda for the June meeting. Last but not least, Mr. Malcolm Calhoun, he wanted a special request, a special exception to operate an assisted living facility, 4155 Lomax Street. It's going to be 40 to 50 beds, have about 10 employees. And one of the board's concerns, especially the president of the board, it was the parking lot is crossover access, like the parking lot at Lomax Street is connected to the business next door, and people can go there and go through another parking lot, get to Carmichael, and they didn't want that. And the board said, it's not up to us to grant you access or deny access. Ooh, somebody almost ran a red light. To deny access or approving the crossover access because, it's private. And so it's up to the property owners to approve all that. So the board, it's not up to them to decide. And they didn't want it to connect because it's the dead end street, and they didn't want to connect to the side street, which is Sunnyland Drive, and they didn't want no parking on the street. And Malcolm Calhoun said, the fire chief did look out there and did approve some things, because they wanted to see if they can compromise and maybe like build a fence so there won't be no crossovers or anything. So, but since it's private, Malcolm has to deal with the property owner so they can come up with an arrangement. And so the board approved it. So be looking forward to a new assisted living facility in our area. This is the recap from the Board of Adjustments meeting for the city of Montgomery. The next Board of Adjustment meeting is on May 20th, 2021. Gun Time Magazine. This is brought to you by Serious Injury Law Group. Personal injury accidents with 18-wheelers, commercial vehicles, medical malpractice, you name it, they can handle it. 1-855-SERIOUS. Gump Town, we be everywhere.